4. ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
A convicted cop killer may face the death penalty, and a synagogue shooter is going to prison for the rest of his life. Two different decisions that were handed down today in two high-profile murder cases that rock San Diego County. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Jennifer Kastner, in for Lindsay Pena tonight. We start with our coverage of ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo with breaking details on the sentence just handed down for Jesse Gomez. Laura.
Yes, and Gomez sat emotionless in court as the judge read the verdict from the jury, deciding on the death penalty more than 5 years after he shot and killed San Diego police officer Jonathan J.D. de Guzman. A number of people in the courtroom became emotional and started crying as the judge was reading that, confirming with each juror that they were in fact in agreement with the death penalty. Now, a member of the defense team also fought back tears the entire time. Gomez was convicted just over 2 weeks ago. He shot Officer Jonathan J.D. de Guzman multiple times as he sat in his squad car back in 2016. He also shot JD's partner Wade Irwin in the neck. Now, both the prosecutors and the defense team left the courtroom without speaking to the media. The families also left very emotional. Gomez did testify during the trial, saying he did not realize the two men approaching him were law enforcement officers. Now, de Guzman was a 16-year veteran of the San Diego Police Department. We did reach out to the San Diego Police Officers Association, and just minutes ago they responded to us saying that justice was served for the de Guzman family and law enforcement on this verdict. We also did reach out to the San Diego Police Department, but as of right now, we have not heard back. We do know that they are actively working on a statement, and we'll bring that to you as soon as we get it. Reporting live from the courthouse, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Laura, thank you. Today, the Poway synagogue shooter learned that he will spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. John Earnest sat silent in court while listening to the victims and to their families. ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena was at the courthouse as they finally got a chance to address Earnest. Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right. John Earnest sat there silent. We did learn that he actually requested to speak today or read from a statement, but the judge denied that. But what was not denied was the opportunity for those victims and others to say how they felt, how they were affected by this crime, and it was quite emotional at times.
Hannah Kay, the daughter of Lori Kay, gunned down by John Earnest at the Chabad of Poway, fought back tears as she remembered that tragic day and her mother's last moments.
When the shots ceased to beat and I soon entered the hallway and witnessed the scene of utter, unfathomable shock and chaos, I died with my mother in spirit.
There was no trial since Earnest ultimately pleaded guilty to killing 60-year-old Kay and injuring 3 others, including a child, back in April of 2019. Thursday's sentencing hearing was the first chance the victims had to address Earnest. Kay's sister talking about how the family had to at first keep the news of Lori's death from their elderly father.
You have to remember he lost his wife just 6 months prior, so he was just getting used to the loneliness of not having his wife with him. And Lori was the apple of his eye. How could you kill my beautiful, loving sister? You are an animal. You deserve to be locked up forever like a diseased animal.
Kay's husband sharing the pain he's endured since the attack.
With the loss of Lori, it's left my daughter and myself with deep loneliness, which at times gets no better.
And after it all, District Attorney Summer Stephan refusing to even speak the name of the now 22-year-old man responsible.
I will not be mentioning the name of the defendant. He will be erased from history. What will remain is the name of Lori Gilbert Kay and all of the heroes that jumped in to save life that day.
John Earnest also pleaded guilty to federal charges. He's expected to be sentenced on those in December. We're reporting live at the courthouse. Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News.
Lindsay, thank you. And those with our free mobile app, they learned about both cases from our breaking news alerts. To get real-time news on your smartphone or your tablet, go to the App Store and search 10 News.
it shouldn't be a divisive situation. It's simply a choice that people are being made, and we are being discriminated against our choice.
And starting today, healthcare workers across California have to show proof of vaccination or file for exemption. However, we are learning that hundreds of nurses at Rady Children's have filed for exemption but were denied. ABC 10 News reporter Sofia Hernandez looks into what happens next.
Having a choice is always an option, and that I was willing to do whatever it took to stand on what I believe.
This neonatal nurse with a long tenure at Rady Children's shares she filed for religious exemption 5 weeks ago and just got her declination letter Saturday, giving her less than a week to decide to either get vaccinated by September 30th or accept one of these 3 options: unpaid 6-month leave, take a job with less pay that would remove them from a patient interactive position, or take part in a pandemic separation agreement that at this moment has no clear details.
It's not anything that anyone can have a livelihood with and support their families. It's completely undue hardship and complete discrimination. It's basically punitive.
California's mandate states that by Thursday, all healthcare workers are to be vaccinated or submit a medical or religious exemption that would subject them to weekly testing and wearing of PPE. However, Rady Children's says that is not enough. According to the Union Tribune, it refused more than 200 exemptions out of more than 5,000 employees, saying in part, "We have made the decision that unvaccinated staff cannot be in a role that involves patient contact, since many of its patients are not old enough to get vaccinated."
They were hoping that it would coerce nurses to get vaccinated, because who wants to lose their job?
This nurse says her biggest concern is the children and the care they would not receive.
It's not going to be possible to provide safe care for the children at this point. There's already been a nursing shortage, and now this is just exemplifying it in a massive degree.
At the end of business today, facing job loss, hoping the hospital makes a change.
This is, about the freedom of choice and being discriminated against a choice that we are making. And it needs to be clear to the public that the children will have the potential of having very limited health care at this point without all these healthcare providers who are highly skilled.
Sofia Hernandez, ABC 10 News.
And we tried several times today to get a comment from Rady Children's Hospital, but haven't heard back. Nurses and supporters of those choosing to be unvaccinated will rally at the hospital tomorrow at 2 p.m. And at Scripps Health, the CEO said that about 140 of its 16,000 employees are unvaccinated. Sharp had 539 unvaccinated of its 18,000 employees. UC San Diego Health and Kaiser would only say more than 90% of its employees are vaccinated.
And a lawsuit to end California's mask mandate in schools, it was struck down today. A San Diego Superior Court judge denied that request by the group Let Them Breathe after a hearing in Vista. That suit argued that enforcement of statewide mask mandates is unjustified and harmful to children's emotional health and education. But the judge said she was not convinced the situation was urgent enough to justify an emergency order. She set a hearing for next month. Now, in a statement, the Let Them Breathe founder said in part, quote, "The state confirmed in this hearing that they care more about expanding their power than doing what is best for our children."
Today marks the last day of California's eviction moratorium, which kept renters who were struggling in their homes through the pandemic. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains that while some protections remain, new challenges are emerging.
San Diego renters suffering a financial hardship have been protected from eviction since the beginning of the pandemic. But on Friday, California's eviction moratorium comes to an end.
We're entering a transition period.
San Diego attorney Gilberto Vera says while a landlord will now be able to evict a tenant for non-payment, they can only do so through March 31st if the tenant has not applied for rental assistance. The problem, the money is drying up in San Diego.
The concern is that the non-payment of rent protections remaining are tied to the tenant applying and having a pending rental application for rental assistance, and that the funds are available.
The $13 million Mayor Gloria said was still available on Monday, now accounted for. And the Housing Commission says even if the City Council approves an additional $39 million at its meeting next Tuesday, it still won't be enough to cover the obligations. But landlords say the moratorium's end won't lead to a flurry of evictions.
What renters need to know is not to be afraid of working with their housing provider and not to be afraid of submitting the information that's necessary to be eligible for the rental assistance programs. There is help out there.
Many renters can still be evicted at the end of their leases for no-fault reasons, such as major renovations or an owner's intention to move back in. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
And the Housing Commission says that it's working with the mayor's office to get additional funds for rental assistance. The agency says that the U.S. Treasury may reallocate some federal funds to help San Diego renters, but not until after October 15th.
People in Rancho Bernardo are continuing to fight a proposal that would place a sexually violent predator in their neighborhood. Douglas Badger has been convicted multiple times of sexual assault charges dating back to the 1970s. The Department of State Hospitals and the San Diego Superior Court have proposed that he live in a home on Frondosa Drive in the Greens neighborhood of Rancho Bernardo. Starting today, people opposed to his placement there, they can submit their comments to the Sheriff's Task Force. Those will be accepted until October the 14th. And a brush fire has burned 15 acres near State Route 76 in Oceanside. That fire broke out just after noon near Hutchison Street and Spur Avenue. Those flames spread towards the 76, forcing the closure of at least one eastbound lane. 2 water-dropping helicopters and 4 air tankers attacked that fire. There were also crews on the ground. That fire was under control within about 30 minutes. The cause, though, is still under investigation.
Turning now to our weather. Things are warming up outside and it's expected to continue into the weekend, but we are also seeing Santa Ana winds. ABC 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos is here with a look at those conditions. Angelica.
That's right. We're looking warmer and also drier. Santa Ana winds drying everything out. So when we get those winds out of the east-northeast and the air sinks, it warms, compresses, and it leads to drier conditions, elevating fire danger. But the good news is that this is almost over. The threat was for just through the evening hours, and the winds are actually looking much better at this hour. How much warmer it was? Between 10 to 15 degrees warmer. Areas like Vista went up to 82 today versus 73 yesterday. And you can see the difference also in Alpine from 76 to 86 degrees. The winds right now are much lighter, averaging about 10 miles per hour. We did see some wind gusts of up to 35 miles per hour earlier today. Again, the winds will be subsiding, but the heat will continue. I'll show you what to expect into the weekend in your 7-day forecast.
Angelica, thank you. And with just hours to spare, Congress passed legislation that would avoid a partial federal shutdown to keep the government funded through the beginning of December. President Biden just signed that bill just moments ago. It passed the Senate earlier today with a bipartisan vote. The House voted 254 to 175 to send the bill before tonight's midnight deadline.
Science at the National Institutes of Health, the education of our children, the protection of our environment. It's just a remarkable thing to think of all the things that we can do working together for the people.
But there is yet another deadline. Congress still has a few weeks to work out a solution to avoid a debt default. To avoid the shutdown, Democrats detached its debt-limiting language from the government funding bill.
And the FBI returned to the Florida family home of Brian Laundrie today as they continued their search for him. The Laundrie family's attorney has confirmed that 3 days after his return to Florida from the trip across the country, Brian purchased a new cell phone and opened an AT&T account with it. The phone was left at his home before Laundrie disappeared into a Florida preserve 2 weeks ago. Authorities have been looking for Laundrie since they discovered the body of his fiancée, Gabby Petito, in a Wyoming national park.